Next, Chef Allegri will prepare focaccia bread to serve 4 to 6. Ingredients for the sponge are 1 cup or 8 ounces warm water, 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 38 degrees Celsius. 1 teaspoon active dry yeast, 1 cup or 4 ounces all-purpose flour. Ingredients for the focaccia are 1/2 cup or 4 ounces water, 1/3 cup or 2.4 ounces dry white wine, 1/3 cup or 2.4 ounces olive oil, 2 tablespoons fine yellow cornmeal, 1 1/2 teaspoons kosher salt, 2 3/4 cups or 12 ounces all-purpose flour, 5 teaspoons extra virgin olive oil, 1 clove garlic minced, black pepper to taste, 1 1/2 teaspoons minced rosemary, and kosher salt to taste.
So we are still in the south today, and we make something really simple and delicious, rustic, classic, something to make almost every day. We make focaccia. Focaccia comes from the Latin focus, which means fire, and originally it was made on the fireplace. And you can try if you have a fireplace, you can do with no problem. You light a big fire with a good wood like oaks or stuff like that. When you have only the charcoal, you basically brush it, and you clean with a little brush. You put your pizza, like the focaccia, like a gigantic pizza, on top of the bricks. You cover with the ashes and the charcoal. You wait like 20 minutes. You remove all the stuff on top. You tap a little bit, and you brush again. You have this rustic focaccia like probably the Etruscans used to make. Today we make focaccia, using modern technology, but the old, recipe and techniques. We have flour, farina, cornmeal, garlic, salt, white wine, yeast. This is dry yeast. If you can also use the fresh yeast, which is, I would say, a little much better, but it's almost, let's say, a little hard to find. Extra virgin olive oil all the time, and let's say the prince of the Italian herbs, rosemary. Okay, first of all, we start activating the yeast like this. Yeast is basically a colony of fungus, and they activate the starch that they can find in flour, and they convert into CO2, carbon dioxide. In this way, the pizza can, proof and jumps and get fluffy. Warm water, like this, and we mix up simply by hand in this way. Okay. And you have to wait a good half an hour to see the reaction of this incredible substance, which is yeast. Okay? We already made our reactors. Look at this. Like half an hour ago. See the difference? It's growing. And now we make the dough like the way you already know, like volcano. So we have the flour, like this. Okay. We pour the cornmeal inside. You also can put the salt directly here, so we mix it up much better. Okay. We make a crater like this, and we add the ingredients: garlic, white wine, extra virgin, a little water, And we, start mixing. You can use a mixer like a robo mixer, but this is the original way, everything by hand. A little salt. Okay, so this dough has no yeast now, and we use the one we just made. And we mix it up like this. This is basically a bread dough, enriched with some extra virgin oil, some white wine, and cornmeal and garlic. So the bread dough is basically, the traditional one at least, it's a flour, yeast, water, and a little salt. In Umbria we had no salt into the bread because one of the popes we had during the 16th century, no, 17th century, decided to put another tax on the many he already gave us. And that tax was called tassa sul sale. So he said, okay, I want to tax salt. So all the bakers have to pay more taxes because they use salt every day in the bread. And they simply said, okay, Pope, we don't put any salt. And they kept the tax. So traditionally, we have no salt in our bread. In the South, where the Pope was not, a king, or whatever you call it, they still use the salt. Okay, a little oil on the bottom. And we got it. Those should be soft, elastic. Shouldn't be either loose or hard, something like this. Okay. And now we give a good, like 1 hour or 2 of rest. Before we use it, we use it and we put it on a sheet pan. Pretty sticky. Let me get some of this. Okay. And we put here. In this way. We cover it with a little cloth. Okay. And we're going to work in half an hour, an hour. And here we have the dough after about half an hour. We take it from, oh, it's really nice, soft, and look at that, easy, with some bubbles, easy to be modeled as a nice focaccia. We use a rolling pin for the first, let's say, opening, and then we finish by hand into the sheet pan. Oh, it's pretty nice. Spongy. A perfect focaccia should be, at the same time, soft and crunchy. Soft in the middle and crunchy, on top and the bottom. Okay. Like this. A sheet pan. Extra virgin, like this. We spread completely the whole bottom, also on the side, like this, a little bit like this, and we just lift like a, big pizza. And we spread on top of this. The rest of the dough is important because it gets elastic and easy to model, to play with. Okay. We press with the fingers in this way. Okay, until we cover the whole surface. There's another trick. Just you leave like this on the corner. Okay, see? It's a little easier. If you see you have some holes like this, you can fix it. Just, you know, some pressure. Okay. Now we give a little like 10 minutes of rest. Covered with a couple of clothes. Like this. Otherwise the surface gets dry. Kind of, you know, too much, you know, crunchy or crusty. Like this. We already have one that we made about 15-20 minutes ago, so it's proofed already. If you see, you know, it's pretty fluffy and ready to be cooked. Now, we pour extra virgin, really in a good quantity, like this. We can give a kind of massage. So we spread in a good homogeneous, okay, condition. Put salt. This is a kosher salt. You can use sea salt. Like this. We have rosemary. A lot of rosemary. Okay. And you can press with your fingers like this. And then you can put in the oven right now, and it's about, it depends on the temperature. We usually bake at 350 Fahrenheit. You can also bake at 500. If you, it depends on the temperature. If the temperature is 350, you give it a little more time to rise, to get a little thicker and soft. If you attack with a higher temperature like 500, basically the focaccia has no time to proof a little more, so it becomes really crunchy. So it depends on your taste. Let's see, we already made one. Actually, it's cooking right now. See how it comes. Okay, that's good. It's well done. Good color. Of course, you add a little more oil. It seems like oil is never enough. Like this. And you have to serve it, you know, hot. You can also cut in, you can split in half like this. And you put some prosciutto like ham. You can put cheese, sausage. One classic of Orvieto is, you know, this kind of focaccia split in half with broccoli rabe and sausage and hot pepper and garlic. Or you can simply eat as it is. You know, we used to eat this kind of focaccia at school in the morning. Or you can make merenda. Merenda is the afternoon snack in Italy. That's, you know, it's pretty simple, beautiful, and almost every restaurant serves this kind of focaccia. What can I say? Buon appetito. Ciao.